Shabbat Shalom. This week, the Torah portion is Ki Tetzei from the book of Deuteronomy. Ki Tetzei contains, I believe it's 72 mitzvot, 72 commandments, the most commandments in any one Torah portion throughout the entire Torah. And at first glance, it looks like these mitzvot are disconnected, unrelated to each other. But after closer reading, one can see perhaps a pattern. Last week in the Torah portion of Shoftim, of Judges, we learned about mitzvot that dealt with government and state affairs. In Ki Tetzei, the common denominator to all these mitzvot are they all have something to do with family. There's commandments talking about parental responsibility, what to do with rebellious children, who's in and who's out in larger Jewish families. And as I think about that in totality, what comes to mind is another Jewish family, the synagogue family. Over the past few weeks, there have been several wonderful articles written by rabbis out of California. I wish I could share both of them with you. I don't have the time. I'm not sure you'd stay tuned in for the extra time it would take me to read both these articles. But I want to share with you at least one article written by Rabbi Stephanie Kramer, Rabbi at Congregation Shomrei Torah in Santa Rosa, California, and Rabbi Lisa Kingston, another rabbi at Peninsula Temple Bethel in San Mateo, California. They wrote in 2004 a controversial mockumentary-style film was released in California, A Day Without a Mexican, directed by Sergio Arau. It offered to take its take on immigration issues facing the United States by imagining a state without its crucial Latinx workforce. Crops were left unharvested, restaurants left unstaffed, households left unmanaged. In this dystopia, the viewer can't help but notice how every aspect of Californians' day-to-day lives are touched by the absence of Latinxes, be it on a personal or economic level. Then they write, as Reform rabbis, we have recently heard from colleagues around the country that some families are considering a temporary break from synagogue life. Families aren't quite sure where synagogue in general and Jewish education in particular fit into their lives as we all try to prepare for a year of unprecedented realities. 2020 has become the year of unknowns. Distance learning in secular schools, hybrid models, canceled sports, virtual extracurriculars. With these concerns as a baseline for families, it is simply too difficult to also imagine virtual high holy days, reimagined Jewish education, and a Jewish community that doesn't gather together in person. Many rabbis are terrified that we will hear in our own synagogues, I think we'll just have to take this year off. Can we wait and see what happens in January? I'm not sure we can manage anything extra right now. These are sentiments expressed by families who are clearly struggling, stressed, and holding so much disappointment. Before anyone in our community considers this response, we hope they will consider a broader picture. Quite simply, if everyone were to have a year without a synagogue, would there be synagogues when people are ready to return? This is a serious concern. As nonprofit organizations that rely on the support of our members, all synagogues, big and small, are concerned about sustainability. Your congregation remains a place of gathering, virtually or in person. We are a community. We hold sacred space. Supporting a synagogue is completely different from utilizing a fee-for-service institution. We are not providing after-school care or tap lessons or physical fitness. Our value cannot be measured only by programs. It is precisely at this moment that members need to support the most important things in their lives. This is the moment to show up in larger numbers than ever before. Synagogues are extensions of our homes, where Jewish life is marked and celebrated. Synagogues are the people who show up at your door with a meal, the phone calls when you have lost someone you loved, the rabbi who is there to listen. For our children, synagogues are the place where they are nurtured and loved without the pressures of secular school. Synagogues are where we grapple with big ideas. They are a place for identity experimentation and self-expression, a place where ethics are upheld, and love and kindness prevail. Through our synagogues, the world is healed. Synagogues bring families together to honor sacred time. During hard times, they are where we learn to handle challenges and where resilience is built. And yes, we cannot hide the fact that synagogues cost money to run. Like many small businesses and nonprofits, during COVID-19, our doors have been closed, but our operations are running. Mortgages, staff, and infrastructure all cost money, and all are necessary to support Jewish life. Without membership dues, tuition from religious school, and donations, we simply would not exist. The attitude of taking a year off implies a diffusion of responsibility. It says it's someone else's job to support the ongoing expenses of synagogues while washing one's own hands of the obligation. When Rabbi Hillel taught, "Do not separate yourself from the community," he reminded us that each is responsible for our community. Jewish synagogue life is not here to add additional work or stress to one's life. It's here to be a place that holds emotion, whether joyful or disappointing. Yes, it takes commitment. Those commitments come in the form of time, money, energy, and emotional investment. Ideally, what one gets out of belonging to a synagogue can't be measured by any standard metric. It can only be measured in feelings of love, community, and connection to each other and to the divine, or to something greater than ourselves. Some families may still consider pausing and taking a year without a synagogue, but we hope this is not the case. If families do pause, we can hope that when they are ready to return, our synagogues will be here, having weathered the harsh realities of the pandemic. In the meantime, synagogues will persevere by teaching, praying, grieving, celebrating, and hoping. We will continue to be places of thriving Jewish life. Friends, our situation here at CBI is no different than what these beautiful, wonderful rabbis relate about their synagogues in Los Angeles. We can't afford for people to opt out. I pray that all of you understand the realities that we, like many synagogues, will face the existential threat of, will we be here when people decide to come back? We are here. We are a family. And just as in Kitei Say, it talks about difficult families and loving families and parental responsibility and rebellious kids that have to be properly punished and spoken to. I pray that the message that these rabbis from California sent and that I send to you will be accepted fully into your hearts and souls, and that you too will consider not taking time off, not opting out, but being here to be part of this family, knowing that your membership, your opting in, allows other families to opt in, to be here. We can't provide the preschool, the religious school, and the vital synagogue services needed without your help and without your support. We learn in Judaism that all of Israel is responsible to each other. There's a beautiful midrash reminding us of the story of a group of people sitting in a boat. One man drills under his seat. Everyone screams. The man simply replies, "Why are you worried? I'm only drilling under my own seat." To which the passengers reply, "But you will flood the boat for us all." Friends, when we choose to drill a hole only under our seat, thinking that we are merely separating just ourselves, we begin to puncture the ark of Judaism. Even just one hole in the ark has the potential to drown us all. I pray all of you might consider sending back your membership renewals, registering your children in religious school, helping us to maintain this community that was lovingly brought into existence 36 years ago as a labor of love by its founding members. It has been here for 36 years, providing support, comfort, consolation, celebrations, Jewish education, Jewish community to one and all. I pray that you will understand that we are all a large, connected Jewish family. Shabbat Shalom.